For suppose I have a section here, and then within that section I have paragraph. uh, Grandchild para. So yeah, so now if you see for this main div, we have a span as a child, and we have a paragraph as a child, and a section as a child. But the next paragraph is child of section. See CTA. So next element is a section. So only three childs: span, paragraph, and section. So because we gave only immediate style to immediate child para, so the style will get applied to only immediate child, that is this is child para. So grandchild para is there, so that means here within the div one more paragraph is there, I mean within the div and within the section. So this paragraph grandchild para didn't get the styles which is specified here. That means the reason why it is happening like this, because div greater than p means a paragraph should be immediate child to the div, so that the styles which are specified here will get applied. So there is other way, that is if you don't use this greater than symbol here, that means the styles will get applied to the paragraph wherever it may be. It should be within a div, that's it. So here we have two paragraphs actually within the div. That is one paragraph here as a child selector, child element, and one more as a grandchild to this div, because the parent for this next paragraph here is section actually. So section paragraph is div, so that means p is a grandchild to div. This p is a grandchild to this, so for this p also the style will get applied when we use a div space paragraph. So you can see now, I will save this and you can see the style change here. So for the grandchild also it got applied. So this selector name is called decedent selector. So a selector it can occur anywhere in the tree within that particular parent, so it can come. So it no needs to be just immediately to this just a grandchild. It can be a grandchild, or it can be at any level inside the div. So if it is there within the div anywhere, that means the styles will get applied. So that is what. Now we will see about the different other combinational selectors. So here I have given div inside p. So I am giving the styles to div space p space span. That means span should be inside a paragraph, and which again should be within a div. I mean the paragraph should be within a div, and a span should be within the paragraph. So to that particular span, that means the span should have a ancestor paragraph, and a paragraph should have ancestor a div. So then only the styles will get applied to that particular span. So here if you see here, I have a div and again span here immediate child, but this will not get selected. The reason is that should have a paragraph in the middle. So here I have paragraph and here I have span. So this span will get selected for this style. The reason is that it has a parent, not parent, it has a ancestor paragraph, and a paragraph ancestor is having a div. So that's the reason this span will get the styles. So this span is a decedent span. Only this span will get the style. You see the decedent span only got the style. The reason is that because this is how we specified it. No needs to be span alone, it can be any class. So for suppose it can be dot simple class name. So whichever element is having the simple class which should be within the paragraph. Suppose here I am using em, the class name is simple. So simple emphasized. So this em will get the style because we have given the style like that. So simple got the style. The reason is that it is within the paragraph, so it no needs to be within the paragraph alone. It can be again inside a particular some other div. So for suppose here it in not just div, it can be again within a article for suppose. So it can be anywhere in the hierarchy. So the style will get applied because yeah, so something wrong. Article. So paragraph within the paragraph article is not looks like allowed. I will write span. Yeah. Now you see the simple got applied. Yeah. So again I used the elements first as a child selector and dissident selectors. You can use any class here, any id here. For suppose I am using something like flag. So a div within that a flag, a div, and inside that an element should have a flag class name. So that will get selected till here, and then dot simple, that means again one more child which having the simple class for this element which is having the flag class. So this order should be followed like that: a div, and again uh, an element with class flag, for suppose here flag, and then an element with simple class, but all those should be in the hierarchy, in the order in which it is specified, should be in that order in order to get applied those styles. So here I have actually two spans. One is that span, and here is that class span. So here div searches for an element which is having the class flag, so that is child span is having the flag class, and again it is searching for a class simple inside it. So it got immediately, actually it can be anywhere in the nested hierarchy. So the style will get applied to this class span. The reason is that it follows that. So you can see the class span got the styles. So that's how the styles, that's how the CSS selectors we can write. It can be anything here, whichever selector I'm taking. It can be simple element, or it can be a class, or it can be an id. So the order it applies, it is the same way which is specified just now. So what else? The next section is having the pseudo element selector. We'll see about this. The next selector is child selector. So how the child selector is works? So before that we need to know, after element selectors and class selector, id selectors, we also have pseudo class selectors, pseudo element selectors. So what are these? We can see what are these selectors. So first we will see pseudo class selectors. Pseudo class selectors means um, it should be starting with the colon. Okay, element beside that it should be have a colon in the pseudo class selector name. So here I am giving an example: div space paragraph colon first child. This means the first child means paragraph should be a first child to the div tag, then the following styles will get applied. If it is second child, the styles will not get applied. So here I am taking an example: div within that three children it is having. Span is the first child, and paragraph is the second child, and m is the third child. Which how many elements are there within the div depends on that the number of children are there for the div, we can see. And the first one comes is the first child always, and the second one is the second child, like that. So when I say here the styles should be applied to a paragraph tag, which should be a first child to the div. So here within the paragraph, within the div, paragraph is the not the first child. So if you see here, That's the reason why the style didn't get applied, which is this color blue. So if I move this paragraph to first child position, then the style should get applied because it is a first child that time. So we got the styles applied for the paragraph because I mean the text is different second, but it became the first child because it coming immediately after div before any other child. That's the reason why the style got applied. So that should match. So if you want to apply to the second child, it's not there. Second child, not first child. Nth child of 2 it is there. That means for this P should be a second child to the div element. So now the style will get applied to the paragraph because it is a second child to the div tag. In the same way, we can also apply the styles to last child as last child. So whichever is lost in that div element, that will get the style. But here, if you see, no element got the style. The reason is that we applied for the paragraph. We need to apply for the em. We need to apply the style to em because em is the last child. If you use any other element here other than em, the style won't get applied. The reason is that em is the only last child. So if you apply it to the paragraph here, the style is no more used. The style is no more applied to any other element. The reason is that there is no selector of that kind, the last child. So here we have em as a last child. So for em we'll get the style. So yeah, we got the style. The same way we have first of type. So there is a difference here. So the reason why we have first of type is that instead of checking all the children's within the div tag, should only check for the particular type. So here div, then I am giving paragraph. So actually first child means the style will get applied only if the paragraph is the first child to div. But here we are giving the first of type. That means within the div, the paragraph should come and that paragraph should be first of its type. I mean within the paragraph tags, I mean uh, with the paragraph tags, the paragraph tag which comes first among the paragraph which comes there, the first paragraph will get this style. So wherever it comes, the first paragraph will get style. So here I will duplicate this paragraph. So this style will get applied to only the first paragraph, that is the second child. If you see here, there are two paragraphs here, but only for the first paragraph the style got applied. So that's the advantage of it. And see, this will search by type. The first of type will search by type. So last of type means, now if you see, last of type I am using. So within the div, the paragraphs can be any number, but among them the last one which comes the last will get applied this style. So because dupe child is the last paragraph of that type, last child of the type paragraph within the div tag, that's why the style will get applied to this dupe child. Sorry, I didn't save or what. Yeah, dupe child, this got the style. The reason is that it is checking for the last paragraph type within the div element. So that's how the first child and last child, first type and last type. We also have the nth of type, like how we have the nth child, we can apply to any um, child number. So here we can use nth of type. So I am giving just one here. That means first, it is similar to first of type. So first of type is this paragraph. That's why this paragraph got the style. So if I give 2, it will just apply to second element in that. So if I give 3, if I don't have element paragraph, third paragraph, wherever it comes, it may contain, it may come anywhere within the div. So for the 3 means if we give 3, we should give 3 here to get the style applied. So you see the third one. So third div got the third paragraph got the style because we give 3. So like that, I think div got closed. That's the reason why it is not within the div. So where is the closing div here? Here it is. So one more closing div came. I think we missed some element whose ending tag is missing here. You can see that where it is missing here. Okay, so the reason is that we give the height less here, 100 pixels. That's the reason why those came out. If you give 200, it comes correctly. Yeah, that's the reason why. So as of now, we know what is first of type, last of type, nth of type, and first child and last child, and nth child. So those are the pseudo classes, and one more kind of other class are there. Those are hover link visited active. Those classes will usually apply to anchor tag. We'll see about those classes, and also we have focus focus column, focus pseudo class. Okay, we'll see about all these things. Yeah. So we have pseudo classes, first child, last child, first of type, last of type, those kind. And also we have pseudo classes for anchor tag, such as link, visited, hover, active. So link means for an anchor tag means it should have a href attribute for the anchor tag. Then this style will get applied. So an anchor tag should have a href attribute that for that particular element the style will get applied. This styles mentioned. So background pink, so the color background pink got applied to this element anchor tag. So this is the link. So next visited, when this will get applied, when we clicked it already, when we have already clicked that link, which are anchor tag link we have clicked, then this style will get applied. Okay, after it is clicked. So that's the reason why in Google, after Google search, when you clicked some element, when you did some search and then clicked on the search result, one of them, and when you again search the same results, and you see in the search result, you can see that the the anchor tag which you clicked already, it will show in different color. That's the reason. This is the reason. So when it is visited, the color will be different, and when it is hover, the color will be different. Hover means the mouse over. When you mouse over, then that this style should come. Active means when you clicked on that particular element, this style will get applied. So you know, right, when these styles will get applied. So we'll see when this style got applied. So when you hover on this, the background color became blue because we specified for the hover class, pseudo class selector. And then when you click on that, so it became red because it is a active pseudo class selector. So when you left this all, so because you clicked already, and you come back, uh, it is in different should be in different color. So I think it is not yet showing that background yellow. So you can see visited is yellow. So why visited is yellow for this? Because it is already clicked. That's why visited yellow came. Earlier it is pink when it is not yet clicked. Because it is clicked and it is visited, hence it became a color yellow. The same way for hover, when you hover on that, when you click on that element, red will get applied. So here among these four, you can apply two pseudo classes for any other elements. Okay, that is hover and active. Hover and active, we can apply hover hover and active pseudo class can be applied to any element, not only for anchor tag, for div as well we can apply. So I will show the simple example for this. So I'm using a div here, giving div hover and then div active. I think div active won't get applied. Div will div active will get applied or not, we'll see. Yeah. Div I am using here, and div tag I am using here. Try to write a div tag here, simple div. So I will just refresh this page. Sorry, yeah, this one. So simple div tag, when I hover on that, it came. This. So how it came? Because we gave for anchor tag, but how it came for div tag is a surprising thing. Hover on that, yeah. So div tag only we give. Hover we have given to for div tag. That's the reason why on hovering it came. And active, when you click on that, the style will become red. So we'll see when you click what will happen. Yeah, it became red. That means you can see the active and hover class not only applied to anchor tag, those can also apply to any other elements. So usually when we create any buttons with bootstraps and all, for those kind of buttons they will use these things. The reason is that um, these are not only applied to anchor tag, this can also apply to any other element, the hover and active. But the link and visited are the link related styles. That's the reason why those styles will get applied to only anchor tag. For other elements they won't have any impact. So you can see that whether those can be applied or not. I just change the style to do here, so you can see now. So hover, clicked, but it is not changing, and it is link. When it is link, the background color should be pink, but it didn't pink. The reason is that these styles link and visited are not applied. So on click of visited also, visited it didn't get change. The reason is that it is not applied to these styles are not applied to the other elements other than the anchor tag. So that's how the pseudo classes works. Pseudo class works. So we'll see some more pseudo elements. Okay. So the next topic is pseudo elements. Pseudo elements, we have four pseudo elements. First line, first letter. Mm. So what is meant by first letter and first line? So, and one more thing we need to note down here, important thing is that pseudo classes and pseudo elements looks like same, but those are different. Elements actually refer to the elements. Pseudo classes actually are just a classes, just like the classes. That is the difference it shows, and we'll see what's the how they work. So here we have two pseudo elements, first line and first letter. So first line means for the first line the styles will get applied. So for suppose I have here some other text, some break I have. So the new line will get started here. So I have given the style to, yeah, so here if you see, given the style to first line as a color blue. Okay, so in this div, for the div I give first, for the first line I give color blue. Here in this div it has a text as simple div and next line div. So here if you see here, it applied to only simple div, the color blue. Why it didn't apply to the next line? Because we specified only for the first line pseudo selected. So first line it got selected and it got applied. So the same way in the first letter is a one more pseudo selector. It applies the styles to the first element, single character, first single character within the div. So it applied font size 55. It generally see if it applied font size 54 only yes, because this is the first character. So it generally used in the newspaper publish. If you see first letter, when they started any paragraph, they start with more size. This is that example. So the first letter will start with the more size. Okay, so for that we need to use this colon colon first letter. So all pseudo elements will be prefixed with the two colons immediately after an element. So it applies to a particular element. Here it is applying for div. So in the same way, we have one more different kind, is that before and after. So what will happen before and after? Before will create a new element within the div tag with the content which is specified here as style. So here it creates a new element first, the content first inside the div tag, and the last as the last element. So you can see that change here. First as having this first content got added, and last content is also got added here, if you see. So we have not specified any first and last here in this div element, but we got the first and last characters in the output. The reason is that here we are using div colon colon before. That means within the div, whatever elements may be there, it just adds in front of all of those elements within this. So it here actually start with yes simple, but before simple, the before pseudo selector content will get added. So if you see here, for the first came before the first line. So that's how. After will come after the last line in the div. So that means emphasize the last content. So after that, the after content will come. So because we have given the last lost as a text as a content for the after element, so the same thing got came here. So it just surprising to us without specifying in HTML how the text is coming. This is the beauty of the pseudo elements, that is after and before. So in some cases we may need this kind of, we may have this kind of requirement, so we need to use this. This can apply to any element, even block or inline or any other element, this can apply. So before means within the element, the first content will be this, whichever content we are specifying. You can use the styles also, the styles will get applied. Same way after means, that's the reason why font size 55 px how we got, even though we don't have for all other these things, we got for before and after, first and last. That's the reason. So yeah, but we have given over the first letter as well. We'll remove this so that you can see the difference. Yeah, you can see the difference, first and last. First font size didn't yet increased. There can be reasons for that. Now you understood how the before and after and first letter and last line will get applied. Now we can see the adjacent and sibling selector. What is meant by adjacent selector? What is meant by sibling selector? Adjacent selector means, so the adjacent selector is like this. So the symbol is plus, okay, and the meaning how it comes. So anyway, so the adjacent selector means we can use plus, and for the sibling selector we can use tilde operator. You can see how they work. So p plus ul, then this says styles. So what does this mean? This mean it is an adjacent selector. That means ul should be adjacent to p. That means immediately. So if there is a ul tag immediately following by p, then the styles will get applied to that ul element. So these styles will get applied to ul element. So tilde means the ul can come anywhere in the hierarchy, not in the hierarchy, after p. So after p ul should come. So it is not required to be immediately after p, it can be anywhere after p. it should be a sibling, but it should be a sibling means, it's one under one parent, so it should be under this here also. And p and D, so this means plus means here, um, ul should be after p, and ul should be UL should be immediately after P, but here UL should not require to be immediately after P. It can be anywhere after P. So we can see the example and can understand. So here if we see div plus UL li space li, that means li should be within that UL element, and UL should be after immediately div. That means here if you see here a body is there, within that div tag is there, immediately after div there is a ul tag. So that's the reason why the style which we have given here will get applied to the li within the ul. So here ul should be immediately after div, then only the style works, otherwise it won't work. See, for suppose first we will see what it came here. So color red we give, so we can see that color red came for all the li elements, because we give the color red for li element which is there within a ul element, which is sibling to, which is a adjacent sibling to div. So now if I have given any other element here, such as paragraph, if I give, so now it is ul, now ul is not immediately after div, because p element came after div. So now will the style applies or not, we can see that now the styles are not applied. You can see that red color not came. The reason is that ul is not immediately after div. So in this case, I mean, if it comes anywhere after that particular element, still you want to select the ul. In that case you have a selector tilde selector, which means that after div anywhere it can come as a sibling only to div. The ul can come anywhere after div. So you can see that ul came after div and then after p. So now the style will get applied. So it got applied. And one more thing you need to note down, the ul cannot come before div, should come after div only. Even plus means should come after div only, tilde also it should come after div only, but plus should be, in case of plus it should be immediately after div, but in case of tilde it no needs to be immediately after div, it can be after div, that's it. So that's how the tilde and plus adjacent and adjacent sibling, adjacent selector and sibling selector works. So yeah. And then one more thing is that we need to know the not not selector, how the not selector works. So for suppose if you want to select a div which don't have a particular class, suppose this div or do, this div is not having a particular class, then if you want to apply color red, so in that case, so you can see the div we have given here. We need to give some text, because to see the effect. So we are able to see some text came in the red color, because we told that div we should not have a class as final. So if you have a div which is having the final class, what will happen? So I'm just trying to give one more div which is having a class final. Now the style, now the style will not apply to this div. The reason is that it is having a final class. You can see that now here this div is not having the color. The reason is that we told like the style should apply to a div which should not have a class as final. So we can also write in the reverse way, like I'm just showing kind of selectors we can use within the not. So here also it applies, it works. What we gave a final class, and it should not be to a div, then the style will apply. That means in it can, the final class can be given to any element. for all those elements it applies the style, but the element should not be div. So here yeah, final class, the style will apply to final class. So here what the result will come. So we didn't get any result. The reason is that we are exempting this div which is having the final class, we are exempting. So I'm giving a class final to paragraph. So what will happen now? So for this it comes. The reason is that uh, this is not a div element. The final class is not given to a div element here. That's the reason why it applies. So not means whatever it may be inside that, inside it should be a simple selector. It can be an element, or it can be a class, or it can be a pseudo class, or it can be an ID also. So it just exempt whatever you gave within the bracket. It just exempts that elements from the selected elements. So here first it will select this elements which is which are having the final class, then it removes the elements which are having the element type as div here. So for suppose if I give an id here, hash id12, that means I am giving the id selector. So that what that this means, this style will get applied to elements which are having the final class, but they should not have the id as id12. So now to see the difference, to see how this is working, so final class, but I will give the id here as id12. So now what is happening, we are giving a paragraph element which is having the id 12. So because we are exempting that element which is having the id 12 in the final classes, this will get exempted, but this div tag will not get exempted. The reason is that this div tag is having the final class, but it is not having the id 12. So the style will get applied to this element. Initially both elements got selected because of the final class, because all the elements with the final class will get selected, and then it exempts the element which is having the id 12. So like that it works. So you can see the difference here. So the style got applied to the div element instead of the paragraph.